Here with Ken Adkins, victorious head coach of the Independence Patriots. 20-0 win today over Bluefield. I think that's the last team in the region that you had to play, right? Or is there anyone else?
We still have, well, we've played all the teams. We still have to play. I think we have one left with Mingo Central. That might be the last one, the one with Mingo Central. Oh, no, we have another Bluefield one. We have one more Bluefield.
So, not to disparage the region, but it's clearly a much different region than what you guys have been in the past. And, I know with the way that you like to build your schedule, this is probably, eating at you a little bit because I know you like playing up at the Kanawha Valley, your Winfields, your Hoovers and everything. And you've had to substitute that with a little bit with teams that have struggled a bit this year. I'm just talking about being able to manage all that.
But most of those teams didn't want to play. So it wasn't that I needed not to play them. They just didn't want to play. And so they're all in this. The unique thing about this is we're all in the same boat. Everybody's region changed. So, now Hoover had to pick up Pikeview, Capital. So they, some new schools mixed into their region as well. Now the state thought they were doing us a favor by keeping us in the South. I got 2-3 hour bus drives down here with Riverview and Mingo Central. But and listen, the last time we were in Bluefield, we got beat. If you'll remember,
I do.
We lost down here with the trip to the States on the line. So it flips quick with coaches and players as they graduate. And kids do a lot of different stuff now. So I told someone earlier in the year the goal was to just try to keep your team at that level and not have those ebbs and flows. We've been very fortunate, over the years to stay in the hunt. But these regions, if you look around, they're crazy right now. I mean, even our region after us, and we're, we haven't lost in the region, but that Liberty will still, I keep saying, Liberty's going to still be tough. You got Liberty, you got Mingo Central, you got West Side, you got Midland Trail. Those 5 people are going to be fighting that out, you know what I mean? So, and I look today, I think Midland Trail still has 6 games in the region. Wyoming East has 3 or 4, West Side has 3 or 4, so that thing's going to be up there. So I was trying to figure out today how that, how this whole thing floats out, how they do that once you get to the state, because that's what I keep telling the kids. We just have to keep trying to posture ourselves to put ourselves in the best situation we can. So when you get to the state tournament, if we get there, that you posture yourself where you're not the 8th seed or something like that. So, and I'm kind of curious how I've not, softball, this is our first year, so I'm not sure how they'll do that. But we've hunted teams to play out of the region, and so we've got 5 losses to Kentucky and Ohio teams, and so we went up last weekend and played the defending Ohio State champion in their division, Notre Dame, Portsmouth. And so really good team, really good pitchers, and it helps you, but it's tough when you have to travel for all those games. And so, and their coach did say, it's a private school. He said, I drive the bus. He said, so I'll come see you next year. So that'll help.
With the region being down across the board, do you think there's any benefit to getting the regional games out early to maybe, I know with baseball and softball, you want to be facing high quality pitchers as, the postseason nears. Is there any, to getting the down teams out of the way kind of early to be able to get right in stride?
That was my goal, to try to get the region knocked out and then try to posture ourselves at the end. We've got 2 games with Hurricane at the end that we moved to the end. I've got Cabell Midland wants to play. I just can't find a place to put them. I've got I still have another St. Albans. I've got Logan and Greenbrier East this weekend if we get that in, which will be a great weekend for softball if it doesn't rain. So, but everybody's so tight on games here at the end. We got that extra week with the regional where you're not playing the sectional, so you have an extra week into May to play. But the trick is trying to find teams to play. So,
and it's been one of those years where we haven't had a lot of rain either.
No, we had one rain out. That was the other day up at Notre Dame of Ohio, and like I said, it rained out the second game. So we'll see.
So you guys are about halfway through the season. Just kind of assess, where you are relative to what your expectations are.
Well, I mean, me personally, I'd like to be 18-0 or 19-0 right now. But and here's what sometimes you leave those games and you say, well, that team was just better than us. Here's the fortunate thing. We haven't faced one of those. And we've hunted them and gone to their place and played, and nobody's been like that team the other day had 2 good pitchers. You know, it's a 5-3 ball game after Rabin hits a bomb in the 4th inning, I think. And then we get a next runner on, but we left runners on in 6 of the 7 innings. And we just haven't done that. Of course, better pitching, good defense. Their center fielder made some kind of sports center play that saved 2 runs that would have got that game really tight. So, but like I said, we're a little over halfway through it. We've got a couple openings that I'll try to fill. I've talked to GW, like I said, Cabell, Midland. And once some of these, we get a little weather, I might be able to hunt a couple of those teams up and find another one here at the end. But now we have prom and you have senior days and awards day. So it gets hard here at the end of the year to kind of get those things fit in.
And we've talked a little bit about transfers, but I don't know if you kept up too much with the area. But on the baseball side, obviously Brady Williams has been really good, and over at Shady, Will Height and Naylor have been really good. They've won a lot of games because of those two, and then you have the two. I mean, just talk about the success, because I think that was one of the big things with the portal last June or so, was there were so many baseball and softball kids that transferred, and a lot of those moves seem to have paid off. And I hate to kind of refer to it as like the professional, but like the off-season acquisition seemed to have paid off. How do you feel like that works so seamlessly in baseball and softball?
But I'll tell you this, like we never had that before. Like I might have got somebody that decided to come from Park to Independence after middle school, but we never had that before. Listen, that's been a way of life in the Valley. I mean, as long as I've been coaching, they've been moving people around down there, and so nothing really, that hasn't changed much down there. And if you ask somebody, they'll say it's not much different for us. For us, it's a big difference. But I spent my whole time here trying to build a program that kids would just want to come from the middle school and play. And so now when you have kids that want to come from other schools and play, it's a compliment to the program, to the school, and that's, if a parent brings their kid to you to play, I don't know that there can be a higher compliment. So, I mean, I did it when I was parenting, and that's how I ended up at Independence. So, I can't fuss anything about it. I don't notice it. When I say that I'm a softball person, like I follow Independence because it's a baseball team, but I couldn't tell you the first person that's on that team. I just don't, I'm so absorbed in what we're trying to do and what we're trying to accomplish. I don't see it much. Now, people talk about it a lot. At Oak Hill, everybody talks about it. I think they had some kids leave. I teach there. So they had some football players leave and go to Independence, I think 3 or 4 of them. And so I do check on them to see how they're doing, but they seem to be fitting in well and doing well. And, But like I said, what people have to do, whatever they have to do to be happy. The transfer thing can get out of hand, but I don't know how if a kid wants to work hard and do the things to be a better player, and if they think a program fits them better, I have a hard time, arguing against that, because like I said, again, I did it.
Obviously baseball and softball players are more independent variables than what they are in basketball. In basketball or football, one kid's shots or one kid's carries might take away from another kid's, but baseball and softball are a little bit different. Is that kind of what you feel like kind of makes these transfers so?
I don't know. We've had some, I could go and name the whole list of kids that quit here because we brought transfers in. I mean, we've had a list of them. Some of them were players that contributed, some of them were not. And so those that were not saw they're like, this is endless because I'm trying to get there to the top and people keep jumping ahead of me. And so there's some of that. And then, but we've lost kids too. I lost a kid to Wyoming East for basketball. We've lost kids to Shady, that never even came to Independence because they wanted to go play volleyball or whatever. So, and you're gonna continue to have that. I mean, there's nothing you can do to stop that. If your kid wants to do something and be successful, they're going to go where they think they can be successful. So we just try to offer them, a place, and it's not a recruiting tool. It's just, it's how we have to be even to get our own middle school kids now in this day and age.
Thank you.